So what's up, guys? Today we are going to talk about you might I call them hindwalkers. You might have noticed them. Often they sometimes walk around in the forest, sometimes, um, and you might have seen them. You might have thought hey, those look kind of weird, like right? They are called hindwalkers because they walk on the hind paws, right? So biologically they are a bit different. They do not really have fur except on the heads. Um, they only have they don't have a tail actually. They look kind of like okay. Have you seen a monkey before? Most haven't. Most never have seen a monkey before, but they look kind of kind of similar, except like monkeys have like okay. So hindwalkers have like their front paws look kind of like they can move them in some way, like kind of like a bird's claws. So like monkeys are similar. They look very similar to hindwalkers, except their hind claws are also claws, right? So and they have a tail. So they are a bit different, but I think they're probably related somehow. They're obviously also related to us because like they are also very clearly carnivoric hunters. They and The most important thing you should know is that you should not, under any circumstances, attack them because, like, if one of them gets lost or something, and you like, even if you like catch one of their cubs, right? You shouldn't even touch them because they are going to get revenge, and they are going to see this as an act of war, and then they are going to exterminate your whole pack. Um, don't even try. Okay, they are incredibly strong. They do not look strong. They do not have really claws. They don't have like sharp claws on their paws or anything. They don't really have that sharp teeth. Their teeth kind of look like those of sheep, but they are extremely powerful in a specific way. And this is obviously because they walk in the hind legs. Their front paws kind of work like a bird's claws, so they can like be do really interesting contraptions. They don't carry things in their mouths like we do. So they they are, despite the fact that they are incredibly powerful and the best thing you can do is to avoid them, they're actually not necessarily hostile towards us. There have been people who have been adopted into the packs of hindwalkers, and they do things a bit differently. Like in a hindwalker pack, only the leader, usually the oldest of the hindwalkers, actually goes out to hunt. Everyone else stays back and stays and guards the nest, right? That's something like if you wanna join like a hindwalker clan or a pack, you can do that. You should probably try to approach one of them uh, that live close to the forest because like hindwalkers, they have huge communities. Their nests are all close together in gigantic regions, mostly on fields, and they have really elaborate nests. They build massive contraptions with their powerful claws, so they actually can like build basically like caves, but overground, right? They look like caves. They live like that, but they build them themselves. Like they build mountains themselves. That's incredible, right? That's something we can't really do because like we do not have like the claws like they do. They have. So you can actually like you shouldn't go these massive nest agglomerations that they have. You should not go deeply into those because the deeper you go, the more hostile the hindwalkers get. They do not like you there. They Many of them are they're kind of scared of us. Like they usually try to avoid us. Some like at the very edges. Some of them are fairly a bit more friendly. They often like they have like they have like kind of like a prison for like captured sheep and all of that, and they have this as like an offering for many of us. Like if those who can pass the test and get past these obstacles they put in their way can get these sheep for free. Basically, they it's kind of like a thing like if you pass our tests, you get rewarded, but only the smartest of us actually can succeed in that. So they are a bit weird, right? They give us gifts like that, but they always demand some sort of test of our strength for that. And often, like sometimes, if you are really friendly and polite to them and approach with care at the edges, at one of the nests at the edges, they will actually be friendly and maybe they will give you some food or something. And maybe this can, if you come back several times, they will adopt you into their pack. So and those guys, there are many of those. Some have lived in these Hindwalker packs for like many years, more longer than anyone can imagine can remember, and they even look a bit differently. Like they are a bit smaller, a bit softer, and they are because like the way Hindwalker packs work, they do not have to hunt. They only have to guard the nest, right? The leader always and consistently always gets new they can hunt new food and bring it home every day. Basically, they never have to feel hunger again. If you get adopted in one of their packs, you never have to feel hunger again, which is incredible, right? So actually, so you can actually work with them. They have like a very interesting society in that regard because they are fairly tolerant of us if we can earn their trust, because they are kind of easily scared. They are incredibly powerful, and if they are attacked, they will get revenge and they will win. But they kind of avoid conflict, and some inexperienced persons in our community might misinterpret this as weakness, but it absolutely isn't. It absolutely isn't. They just don't like conflict, so they usually avoid us. But if but those of us who are lucky to get adopted into their packs, they have really good lives. They can obviously leave whenever they want, right? But why would you leave? Like you have like food for the rest of your life. You're never going to be hungry. Their nests are really elaborately constructed, so you are safe from like rain and all of that. So they are a very fascinating species. Again, with the monkeys, right? You might ask, why have I seen monkeys, right? I've once seen a hindwalker construction, like in one of the agglomerations I had. I used to like I used to try to infiltrate these agglomerations really deeply and see how they live, right? Went at night because hindwalkers are like they sleep during the night. They are not nocturnal. They are diurnal. So they actually are usually very rarely outside during the night. And those that are outside during the night are often very dangerous. And so I went at night and I saw like a sort of like so kind of like these cages that the outwardly located nests sometimes have, where there's animals for us to get as offerings for us, like kind of like that. But like the walls of these cages were much higher, and there were tons of those, and they had like all kind of different animals. Like they had again these monkeys that I have seen, and I immediately recognized them as some sort of related species to the hindwalkers. And I actually have seen one of like some people of our own race there. So I don't know what they have done to deserve being imprisoned like that, but maybe they have attacked some of the hindwalkers, and the hindwalkers decided to spare them, so they put them in this cage. So this is actually very rare because mostly if like hindwalkers always wage genocidal wars, right? If they are ever attacked, they exterminate the attacking tribe, and sometimes they get some others that live in their area. And I don't think that's intentional, but maybe they can't really they can't really distinguish different tribes, different packs. So they just attack all of them because we all kind of look the same, right? To them at least, we all obviously can distinguish each other, but they can't really because like to us they also look the same. Like they have different fur colors maybe, but they only have fur on their heads, so that it's difficult to tell. So yeah. What's my theory in that? Like they have, it has been. I don't think there has have been any cases of like hindwalkers being adopted into our packs, into our tribes. I think it's probably possible, but like because they are so good at hunting, like they bring home uh, fresh game every day, they will probably become the leader very quickly. Because like as you know, the leader is always the best hunter, right? So it's usually the oldest of us, the most experienced of us. So they would obviously become the leader, and then it would be like a hindwalker pack, not ours pack. So that's probably maybe some of them started off that way. Um, I have once actually seen like one of our people who lived with the hindwalkers, and he looked very similar to me. He was much smaller. Um, he had a bit different fur and like he looked pretty young, but otherwise he seemed very well fed. He seemed very thriving actually. Like he clearly enjoyed his time there. So we talked a bit, and he told me about how it works. And he wasn't the only one there with the hindwalkers. He was actually like one of like three different ones. That specific hindwalker was like a single female who recruited several of us into their pack to found a new pack, and their nest was actually it was actually fascinating because that nest was like sometimes they like the hindwalkers build like huge mountains, right? They build these huge mountains, and those mountains are full of caves, and these caves each is an individual nest of a specific pack, right? So their nest was like very high up. They actually could see most of the agglomeration of nests and caves and all of that the hindwalkers built. So imagine like uh, looking outside and you see basically the entire world. That must be very intense. I have never seen it because like I'm here to tell you, right? Because if I was actually adopted to one of their packs, I wouldn't return. Like that sounds great. Um, yeah, they something interesting like we greet each other by kissing, right? We greet each other by kissing. They don't really do that. Like some of them do it, but most kind of avoid that. They usually pet us with the like the pet of her. So that's their way of greeting, which is a cultural difference, obviously, that you have to kind of live with, but it might be I don't know. Maybe they are just uncomfortable because they have very short snouts. Like they have very recessed small snouts. Actually, their jaws must be very weak, which is very surprising because again they are such massive hunters. Nobody ever really seen them hunt because it's extremely dangerous. But I've once actually talked to a guy who actually lives with one of the Hindwalker's most prolific hunters, and that guy, so he told me um, that the Hindwalkers have they do not they do not hunt their prey with like biting or anything. They just they don't even chase after it. They somehow like spot the trail like with smell and all of that. They actually recruit some of us for that, and they just keep walking. They keep walking uh, slowly pursuing their prey. And when they see it, they are often really good at stealth. They hide themselves, they disguise themselves. They have like one of these, like they are masters at some sort of contraptions, right? So they have like this kind of stick, which they probably carved out of like a tree or something. Um, and that guy told me something like it's hard to imagine, but that stick breathes fire, and they use that stick. It breathes fire, and the prey they hunt falls over dead. Like it's just dead immediately. Fire itself doesn't usually do that, but that specific fire is so deadly, it kills them on the spot, and they take it home and they like eat it then, right? And so that must be. And I don't think like so much. This guy told me like that's not even like the best hindwalker hunter in the world, right? That's just one of many. Like there's a specific role that this hindwalker follows, and he's one of these people, but he's not special in that regard. He's not a very good hunter. He's just someone who hunts a lot, and he uses a fire stick for that. So that's very scary because there's probably thousands of these people with these hindwalkers with these fire sticks, and I imagine when some inexperienced or stupid pack attacks one of the hindwalkers, these people with their fire sticks attack, and these are like soldiers or something. So and obviously you can't really like, yeah, we have sharp fangs and all of that, but if that fire stick is so powerful, we can't even get close before these hindwalkers kill us immediately. This is a very scary thing. And obviously, this is why I tell everyone: do not attack these people. These creatures, basically, they are obviously intelligent like us. They have their own communities, their own packs, they have their own nests and all of that. They have their own societies. Some they even have like ambassadors of our kind with them. So they are obviously on our level. They are not like sheep or something. They are very intelligent. They are hunters. They are predators like us. So they actually, the best thing you can do is to not attack them, because if you do not attack them, the chances are that they won't attack you. Because if they ever attack you, you will lose. You may catch one of them or two of them, but you have no idea how many of them there are. They will always be more numerous than us. You have not most of us have not seen how huge these agglomerations of nests are. These are larger than like in every forest we live in. There's maybe two or three packs or tribes or something, and these and that would equal to like three nests. But in one of these agglomerations, in each of these agglomerations, there's thousands of nests. There are so much more of them than us, and we mostly don't notice them because they stick to their own. They don't enter the forest a lot. They don't actually threaten us a lot. They hunt their part, but they actually seem to not actually hunt that much. In our forests, they have their own places. They have their own hunting grounds, which do not affect us actually. So we have no reason to mess with them in any regard. We could try to live peacefully. We can absolutely coexist with them, and many of us do that. There's many of us who live with these hindwalkers, and they look a bit weird. Like that something changes about them. They never really grow up. They are always still so small, like an adolescent, and they kind of look like an adolescent. They never really become like mature adult people, which is some weird magic, I guess. Maybe it's just the comfort they live in. Like they never have to hunt because the hindwalker leader always does that for them. So the only task they have is guarding the nest, and the nest is almost never attacked. Because the hindwalkers seem to really coexist with each other very well, so they don't attack actually each other that much. They have like they have again these uh, these um, these cages that the outlying nests put on where they keep sheep and all of that as offerings for them for us, which we have to only get a few tests done to overcome some obstacles to get through that. That's clearly a sign that they actually like us. We don't speak their language. They certainly don't speak ours. But you usually can non-verbally communicate with them well enough. They will understand basic things like when you're hungry or something, or when you have to pee or something. They can take care of that. They can help you with that. So you're not going to debate philosophy with them or religion or something. Obviously not, because we do not speak a shared language, and I don't think we can speak a shared language because like the snouts are so weird. They can probably not comprehend what we say, or and especially not replicate it. But yeah, anyways, take care. Don't attack them. Even one of them, a small one or a cub or something that somehow stumbles into our forest, and you think that's like an opportune moment to attack and eat it. First off, they're carnivores, so you're going to get like bad stomach cramps from them, because like we've tried it. Like some of us, we generally don't attack other carnivores because it's unhealthy to eat them. So they don't really hunt us that much. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm fixing that soon. So, anyways, have a good day and good night. Goodbye.